What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matson here, your host show, Metro Scout Fantasy Football. And per request from one of the subscribers, I'm going to go over some tape on Isaiah Likely. He's been blowing up this preseason, catching all 12 of the targets that came his way, scoring some touchdowns. Everyone's talking about him. His clips are kind of hard on the internet. I wanted to go through his games and just gather them up, but I had to do what I had to do and just grab what I could. I got 2 clips from preseason. We're going to go over the first one. Per usual, per YouTube standards, I'm going frame by frame here. He's here at the bottom in the slot, and the play's kind of already started, just how the play started on the internet, really. So he's coming off the slot, and what I like here is this little jab step here. Look at him looking at the DB here, not telling where he's going to go. Breaks off that pretty quick. DB's not quick enough to keep up with him. Got a little hole here. Target comes in. That's a nice window there. Brings it in for the score. So let's bring this back to the play. Let's start looking at the release. Release is pretty solid, just getting to a spot. He's going to attack that outside shoulder with the jab step here. The DB kind of bites on it. You can tell him shift a little bit. It's just enough. It's just enough because when you use that jab step, you're also planning off of it. You get that burst to go the other way, which he does here. That's enough for him to get that separation. That's all the separation you need is right there. That is all you need, because you leave, and look at him. He's gone right there. The ball's there in that window. Got the touchdown. Looking good. Now, up close film. This is how shitty the internet's getting on me. They're not giving me enough clips of these players who are breaking out, and I want to go over them with you. So here he is, coming out, finding a hole in the zone, just plops right in there. Ball comes his way. Not drifting too far one way or the other. Comes in there, makes a catch 2 of the hands, brings it in, and that's it. They didn't show me the whole play, but that's Isaiah Likely. And fantasy analysis on him really depends on what you're looking for here. Redraft, you're not really going to be drafting him. He's going to be there on the waivers. Keep your ears to the ground. Most tight ends in this league, once they're like top 8 to 12, they're not really scoring much more than the top 25 guy. So imagine there could be instances if he's getting a lot of snaps, if there are games or game scripts that allows him to get some targets. Because remember, Mark Andrews is there, and he's going to be soaking in targets. But this team does like to target the tight end. So we could have some scenarios where he does pop off, even though he's the second tight end in line for targets or whatever he will be doing come the season starts. There would be some opportunity there for him. You just want to keep your ear to the ground for him this season. You never know what could happen to Mark Andrews. Players get hurt. That's just part of the game. So the fragility rate of these players, it's always a possibility that he gets his opportunity. Just keep your ear to the ground to him. Know that he blew up this offseason. He did well. Dynasty, I imagine the price increased, but depending on your league, depending on where you're at, it may not be to the point where like he's untouchable or you don't have to pay too much. Like you may be able to throw a third out there, throw a fourth, and that might be enough from him, from this preseason what it gave us, to let his manager know that I can just ship him off for a little bit of something, wash my hands and move on. Also, for Dynasty, tight end can be a trap. Tight end can be a big trap because you could end up collecting all these tight end prospects, and they all got good things in their game. They all could pop off, but you just start collecting them. And then next thing you know, by the end of the season, by the start of the next season, you got 5 tight ends on your roster. They're not really doing anything, and those roster spots could be allocated to wide receivers, running backs, or something. So you don't want to keep collecting these tight ends who are good prospects because they do yo-yo up and down throughout their career. Make sure you manage those tight ends on your roster. Make sure not to have more than 2, 3 max. You don't want to have too many. Likely is a rookie, so you can put him on your taxi squad if you have that option. So look for that. I don't expect the price tag to be too high. Imagine you can trade for him easier in season when he's not giving you the projected outcomes that people are pumping him out to be, but the prospect's doing well. So if you want to buy in, see what you can get on the cheap. Just kick the tires, see what happens. I imagine there's going to be some managers out there overpricing them, maybe trying to get a second out of them or something like that. Walk away from that instance because tight ends, they're a dime a dozen, especially at a certain point, and there's not many stud tight ends. That's the thing about the tight end position. You can kind of waffle on it. You don't have to overpay on it or anything like that. You can get veteran tight ends for a decent price with your rookie draft picks. I also want to hold on my 2013 picks as hard as possible. So I'm not giving my seconds to speculate. This next year's draft is going to have a lot of talent in it, especially at running back and wide receiver. That's going to trickle into the second round of rookie drafts. You do not want to get rid of those. I like Likely for football. I like Likely for maybe fantasy going forward. I like him as a prospect. I think the Ravens fans got another good one. If you're a Ravens fan watching this, good to you. You're lucky. You got another good tight end. You guys have been snagging them up. Drafting two good prospects in the draft in those middle rounds and then seeing which one hits has been working on you. Andrews was the second tight end you drafted in that draft. This is the second tight end you drafted in this draft. Maybe doubling up at the position and see what works might be a fast track to finding the best prospect, maybe for teams. I don't know. But this is what the Ravens have been doing. And we can't really declare him a hit yet. This is preseason. Let's get into the season. Let's see what happens. But right now, he's looking good. Let me know what you think about in the comments. Drop it below. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping analysis like this all year long, along with film studies, straight up fantasy vids, and everything else. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next vid.